Joining us now, former federal prosecutor Jim Trusty. It's so good to have you on. Jim, let's just bring the viewer up to date. Special counsel John Durham, in a new court filing in his criminal probe of Trump-Russia, he's saying the CIA found out in early 2017 that the information Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussman was trying to put inside both the FBI and the CIA was not technically plausible, was user-created. I mean, the CIA cannot investigate American citizens, that's number one. And if the CIA was joining the FBI early on saying there's no there there, the CIA, FBI was saying that in the fall of 2016, why didn't the Obama White House drop it?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it sounds like the CIA walked away from it like a hot potato, saying this is worthless. And remember, there's already been pleadings in this case, in Sussman's case, that identify the actual technological workers themselves, the researchers, as saying this is a really, really thin thing that we could never support if technologically savvy people challenged our conclusion. So it's a little bit of a rabbit hole for Sussman's trial, but it continues to let us look back to the period around 2015 and 16 and wonder how politicized law enforcement was, particularly the FBI leadership,
it's
but
scary.
Perhaps the CIA as well, and certainly the Rodham Clinton campaign.
A.G. Barr has said this is scary for the country, that the Clinton team, they're allegedly lying to both the FBI and CIA. We know that Trump-Russia was a fraud. And Sussman hands over 2 thumb drives of information, indicating that Trump had a supposed secret internet back channel with Russia's Alpha Bank using Russia-made Yoda phones. Sussman is claiming he's coming forward as a private citizen when he legally represented both the Clinton campaign and this computer executive, Rodney Jaffe. And now you have 5. You have 5 Clinton campaign contractors and computer researchers pleading the 5th. They don't want to do self-incrimination in a criminal probe, an investigation, and a trial. What do you make of that, pleading the 5th?
Yeah, that's actually pretty typical territory. I mean, you've got an aggressive special counsel sniffing around at a lot of people up the FBI chain, up the Hillary Rodham Clinton campaign chain, all the way up through lawyers that were working for her. So it's almost malpractice if you're a lawyer and you represent one of these people to not ask the question, hey, am I a subject, a target, or a witness? If I'm a witness, great. We'll come, we'll talk, we'll be cooperative. If I'm anything else, you're going to have to either immunize me or go without me. And that's what's happening with these non-cooperators. They're not obstructing justice. They're just not participating until they get some sort of assurance that they're not in harm's way.
The thing that the new Durham court filing brings up that's troubling is that the CIA was monitoring the Trump White House. The CIA was looking at the Trump White House, the executive office building, after Trump won, and looking at where Trump and his team were, who they were communicating with. I mean, is that what we really want for this nation? The CIA on the stick? I mean, that his team were using Russian-made Yoda phones to talk to Russia. We've been reporting on this story. It's since been debunked. What do you make of the CIA getting roped in here?
Yeah, I think it's still early to know 100% what they were doing. Remember, John Brennan was the one that supposedly tipped off everyone in the White House that, hey, Hillary's about to come up with this big distraction at Trump's expense, and it's going to be about Russia. So you got him kind of blowing the whistle on this conduct on the one hand. Look, there's a lot to be answered for. I hope it's through Durham and his investigation.
But the point is, John, the CIA is not supposed to be involved in anything involving U.S. citizens. We know that there's
right.
lines crossed there, but ostensibly they're not supposed to be doing that at all. And for the Clinton campaign, you take out the word Clinton and Trump and Obama, you just look at the details of what happened. You cannot politicize our government intelligence agencies or our federal cops. Go ahead, your final word.
No, you're right. I mean, look, this is really a historical scandal. I mean, it's one that you and I have been talking about a lot, had a bit of a media blackout everywhere else, and I'm glad it's finally getting some traction and people care about it. And this trial is probably going to shed some light. You know, the Sussman trial's in mid-May. We might see some of this information about the Clinton campaign and law enforcement corruption, kind of the deep state that everyone mocks, seems to be a real thing.
Jim Trusty, great to have you on. Come back soon.